If managing your home feels more difficult than you think it should, I've been there. What finally clicked for me was realizing that I didn't need more willpower. I needed to fix my daily routines for the parts of my day that repeat. So today I'm going to show you how I fixed the 3 daily routines that are in every home and how you can build your own around your season and your priorities. But before I get into the practical stuff, I quickly want to talk about something foundational, and it's something that really shifted my mindset and helped me finally embrace routines rather than fight them. As homemakers, whether you work outside the home or you're at home full time, so much of what we do repeats. We eat every day, we sleep, and we wake up every day. And for the longest time, I treated all of the repeating things like brand new decisions every single day. And that's when I felt the most overwhelmed. Things would slip through the cracks. I was constantly working, but still felt really behind. And quite honestly, it felt a little defeating. One thing that helped me was realizing that God designed the world itself in rhythms. The sun rises and sets, and daily life repeats on purpose. It's a beautiful picture of God's faithfulness. He commands each day that the sun rise again to bless us and to give us life. So when we build routines, we're not boxing ourselves in, we're actually going with the grain of God's creation. And not only that, but we're actually making the repeating parts of life easier so that we're not drowning in decision fatigue. And that frees us to enjoy the things that do change, like our children growing and the sweet moments and memories that we want to make with our families. Things like that. So before I show you how to fix the daily routines, here's the piece that I always want you to keep in front of you. Your routines should serve your priorities, not just help you get more done. Biblical productivity includes tasks, absolutely, but it also includes the other priorities that God gives us to steward. And I talk about this more fully in another video. I'll link that down below, how to sift through biblical priorities in the home. But most priorities in a Christian home usually fall into one of 3 buckets: faith, family, and flourishing. Faith is your walk with the Lord and the habits that keep you abiding in Him. Family is the relationships inside your home, the connection, the discipleship, the overall atmosphere and tone of the home. And flourishing is everything that supports the physical side of life. So all the home tasks that have to happen and your health. So when I talk about routines, here's all I mean. A routine is simply a small group of habits that support one or more of these 3 areas. So as I walk through each daily routine, I'll briefly show you what it looks like in our home, and then I'll show you how to shape it for your season and your priorities. Once you start looking at your day through these 3 buckets, one routine becomes the easiest place to begin because it's already happening whether you think about it or not. So let's start with meal times. Meal times are one of the biggest anchors in our home. Because we homeschool, we sit down 3 times a day. So in the morning, we do Bible and memory work with breakfast. At lunch, read aloud to the kids while they finish their food. And then at dinner, we all share our favorite gifts of God from the day, or we talk about the favorite parts of our day and share that individually. And then after that, my husband will lead us all in family worship. There's the relational piece. I also tie a lot of practical things to meal times. Before meals, I will ring our little triangle bell for the kids to tidy and set the table. I love the bell because I don't have to shout or go looking for anybody. They hear it, and at this point, they know what it means, and then they just get to work. Another thing that I have found helpful, because I have a lot of little kiddos, I like to break up dinner prep throughout the day. It just makes it less stressful for me. So in the morning, after breakfast, I will pull out meat to thaw. After lunch, I'll do some kind of prep for dinner, like chop vegetables. And then at dinner, I assemble everything and cook, usually with one child next to me for mommy time. After meals, everyone has a chore. So one child will do dishes, another will help with laundry, the little ones pick up toys. Basically, we turn on music and work together for about 15 to 20 minutes as a family, and everybody knows their role and their job. So that's what it looks like for us, but here is the principle behind it. Meal times already happen every single day. So they are a very natural place to anchor both discipleship and the practical things that keep your home running. Meals can support faith, family, and flourishing all at the same time. You don't have to tackle all 3 buckets at once. This is just our example. And here's where this becomes really practical for your home. Whether you're at the table once a day or 3 times a day, just choose one thing before meals, one thing during, and one thing after that help you care for some of the priorities in your home. Think through your 3 buckets: faith, family, and flourishing, and pick the habits that fit your particular season. It does not have to look anything like ours. Just tie the basics to the moments that already repeat, and that alone will help you build a really solid mealtime routine. If you want help creating routines like this that are based on your own priorities and fit your home, I created a free masterclass that walks you through how to do that step by step. You can grab that down below. It's completely free. Let's get back to it though. If meal times help with the flow of your day, the next routine actually shapes the direction of your entire day, and it does not need to be complicated at all. So let's talk about mornings. My morning routine is very simple, but it truly sets the tone for my whole day, and it has looked different in every season. But for the last little while, I roll out of bed and exercise first. That helps me wake up. It supports my flourishing bucket, my health. And then once I'm good and awake, I will spend time in the Word and in prayer, the faith bucket. My kids will come into the living room quietly and join me. The older ones will read their Bibles and spend a little bit of time praying. And then the little ones will just look at picture books or sit on a blanket with milk and a small toy. So we'll do that for a little bit, and then we will all get ready for the day. So it's not complicated at all, but it gets us going. And I've intentionally chosen those habits because they help move me and us towards the kind of people that I want us to become. So I'm getting stronger and healthier. I'm nurturing my faith and abiding in the Lord, and I'm teaching my children to do the same. Then there's the hygiene and making our beds. So starting the day with a simple win and helping everyone feel ready to work diligently and seize the day. So again, you can see how this builds into faith, family, and flourishing. And here is the principle behind it all. The morning is a very powerful time, and it sets you up to move in the right direction, not by cramming in a bunch of tasks, but by being really intentional with those first few moments. And again, a routine is simply just a group of habits, and your habits always point your life in a certain direction. Scripture says that a child is known by his actions, not one action, but what he does consistently. And the same is true for us. We are known by our habits. So when you're shaping your morning routine, think through any habits that you might want to include that nurture your faith or your family or your flourishing. Or if you're really serious about wanting to tweak and improve your morning routine and would like some more guidance on building one that's solid and priority-based, I did make another video that walks you through that more in depth, and I'll link that down below if you want to check it out later. But the key is just keep it simple and attainable, and then let it aim your day in the right direction. But here's the surprising part. Your morning routine actually depends completely on another routine. And this is the one that really makes or breaks the morning. By the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Lauren. I'm a homeschooling mom of 5. And here on this channel, I help homemakers very practically bring rhythm and rest into the heart of the home. If that sounds like something you need, like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell so that you don't miss my weekly videos. But let's get back to it and move into evenings. My evening routine is what makes my morning routine possible. I like to make it really easy to calmly move into my day the next morning if possible, and avoid surprises whenever I can help it. Obviously, life happens, but generally speaking, it's good to have a routine. So in the evenings, I will reset my home, my mind, and the body. So to reset the home, I will make coffee the night before. I fill our Berkey, which is our water filter. And then I make sure the living room is tidy so that I'm not walking into any kind of a mess when I sit down to read my Bible the next morning. To reset my mind, I look at my notebook or calendar so that nothing catches me off guard the next day. And then I go ahead and pick what task I need to prioritize the next day so that I don't have to worry about picking those once the day is going. Also, if we're leaving early, I set things out by the door. And then to reset the body, I simply get into bed at a good time. This keeps me from staying up late and putzing around doing other things and then dragging into the next morning, because nobody likes that, right? So evenings are simply your chance to set yourself up for success the next day. Again, none of this needs to be complicated. Just a few simple habits that are specific to your home can make mornings run a whole lot more smoothly, especially when you're groggy and just waking up. Evenings simply help make the morning doable. So in your own home, think through your next day and consider what you can regularly do to set yourself up for success. Examples: set out what you need, reset the room that you're going to be walking into first, guard a good bedtime, things like that. Basically, just make small decisions that will help tomorrow go more smoothly. And similar to the morning routine, I made a more in-depth evening routine video on how to build your own, and I'll also link that down below if you wanted to go check that out later. So all in all, these are the 3 daily routines that I urge every homemaker to fix and to be intentional about: meal times, mornings, and evenings. What you put inside each routine will look different depending on your home and your season. Every home is different, but these routines give your day structure. They keep the basics from slipping through the cracks, and they remove decision fatigue and make running the home a whole lot more manageable so that you can actually enjoy and embrace your life more fully. Again, if you want help getting some of these routines started in your own home, or if you just want a simple first step, don't forget to grab my free masterclass down below. It'll walk you through this step by step. Thank you so much for being here today, and I'll see you in the next one.